You know, I completely forgot to point this out. Obviously, you guys see some change. Let me move the jug out of the way. You guys obviously have seen some changes. You guys have obviously seen some changes in, like, maybe you have noticed, but, there's no poster in the back. First of all, there's no poster in the back. Should, point that out. It's all white wall now. New headset from Razer. I'm liking it. It's the Kraken. That's really all I have for this segment. Let's get into the game. Hey, what's going on, guys? This is PukaTuka here, and today we're going to be playing some more Doki Doki Blue Skies. Last time something happened, I don't remember. Maybe reconciled, maybe we went on a date. Who knows, really? Who really knows? Maybe, was it the therapy? No, we haven't gone to a therapy session. Yeah, today's a therapy session, right? Right? Perhaps? Maybe? I don't really know. But all that matters is what I say from here on. As my eyes slowly open, I can't help but feel nervous about how today will go. I can only imagine how nervous Sayori is. It's such a big step for her too. I just hope it goes well. Hey Sayori, ready to get going? Yeah? No, not... Gosh, Siri, stop, please. Yeah? She's a little quiet and not quite as chipper as she usually is. Obviously, who wants to go to therapy willingly? I mean, not willingly, but who wants to? Like, if you want to go, that's perfectly good. But, like, who wants to feel like they have to go? That's the thing. The journey to the clinic is a quiet one. Thankfully, it's only a short walk away. Well, that was interesting. Her therapist was... Okay, we don't get to see the set. Okay. Her therapist was incredibly patient and empathetic. Never once... I don't want to talk about it. Never once being insensitive with his questioning. He spent the majority of the session getting a picture of her current life situation, to which Sayori was generally compliant. I think that after she told me about her depression, it might have become a little easier to talk about it, given I was the first person she confessed to. She didn't look entirely comfortable, but after a few reassuring smiles from me, she was able to answer his question. The session passed by relatively quickly, and before we knew it, it was already over. Sayori is quiet as she breaks the silence. I've heard a few horror stories about people who get really insensitive therapists, and I was really scared that he'd be one of them. But he was really patient, so that could have gone a lot worse. She trails off into silence. I'm really proud of you, Sayori. I know it must have been really hard for you to do, what with how confusing all of this can be. It really does make me happy that you're doing this. I'm glad to hear that, Puka. I really am. By the way, can we spend the rest of the day together? I don't want to go home just yet. Of course we can. Cuddling up on the couch it is. After swinging by the shops to get some snacks, we find ourselves back in our typical cuddling spot. It's rather quiet between us, but given, I suppose, after the therapy session, there is a lot to take in for the both of us. Tagging along to the session raised so many questions in my mind, though. Now isn't the best time to ask them, though. Hey, Sayori? Yeah? Why don't we play something? We don't have enough people for a board game, though. Nah, I don't mean board games. Remember when we used to play video games together when we were kids? I've always found video games as a really good way to escape reality. Last year, when I was really lonely, I found out it helped to take my mind off of things. Plus, there's some games I have that I think you might enjoy. She sits up. Sure, that could be fun. What games were you thinking of? As it turns out, I still have some of those games we used to play. Do you remember Banjo-Kazooie? This one. Ooh, the one with the bear? Yeah, that's the one. Let's give it a whirl. And here we go to play Banjo-Kazooie, blah blah blah. As I was hoping, gaming has proven to be a wonderful way to get her mind off of therapy. She's truly lost in the colorful, immersive world, with her face scrunched up in determination. At first, she wasn't very good at the game, struggling with the controls, getting lost, and generally being unsure of what she's meant to do. Although, after a few pointers from me, she really started to pick it up and was soon getting the hang of it. Sayori can be really good at things when she puts her mind to it. It's almost uncanny how skilled she can be, especially as it contrasts against the airheaded vibe she can give off. Aha! I knew I'd find the jigsaw piece there. I laugh. She's having a great time, and it's heartwarming to see her so happy. Even if it's over just a video game, nothing will ever beat... Do you mind? I don't care! Oh, stop going off! I'm not disabling it. But even if it's over just a video game, nothing will ever beat seeing Sayori smiling. Happy phone? You won't go off this time, hopefully. You'll never know just how cute you are, Sayori. Huh? just seeing you happy makes me so happy. And I swear that nothing will ever change that. Aww. Not that I'm complaining or anything, but where did all this come from? Truth be told, I'm not really sure. Being with her in the therapy room just now was quite eye-opening for me. Not just because I got to see how therapy works, but because, well, because it's really dawning on me that she has depression and this is something we can't deal with alone. Of course, I believed her when she said she was depressed back in November, but, well, meeting the therapist and watching him do his job really drove the point home. I'm obviously really glad she's seeking help, but it made me think. She's been depressed for a long time, and I've only recently came back into her life, so what was life like for her while we weren't friends? Probably awful and super lonely. Puka? You there? You're looking kinda sad. What's up? Her bright smile does nothing for my guilt. I'm sorry, Sayori. What are you sorry for, silly? We've only begun to hang out not too long ago, right? Since September? Yeah? She pauses the game and sets the controller down, sensing the urgency in the situation. And you've been depressed for so many years, but I wasn't there for you. We drifted apart all because of what? Because I was an idiot who prioritized gaming and anime over you. I can't even imagine how hard things were for you when we weren't really talking. Puka, none of that is your fault. She gently takes my hand in hers, and part of me thinks that, well, had I made more of an effort with you back then, perhaps us drifting apart didn't cause me to be depressed, Puka. Truthfully, I don't really know why I developed depression. There's a lot I don't know about my condition, but one thing I know is that it doesn't really need a reason. That's what my doctor said the last time I tried therapy. So please, don't you ever think that you somehow contributed to my depression, okay? You're like the polar opposite. When I'm with you, I'm happy. You make me feel like I'm actually worth something, even though my brain tries really hard to tell me that you're lying. Yeah, but that's in the present. What about the past? When there were years where we didn't hang out at all. I actually had this conversation with Monica once. It's normal for friendships to be like that, I think. You can go a long time without talking to someone, but if you reconnect with them and you can both get along as if nothing ever happened, did anything really change? I pause upon hearing her words. I guess she does have a point, but I'm finding it hard to internalize. So, I don't know if I've told this story before. I'm pretty sure I have at some point, and some Doki Doki video, too. But, yeah, I can relate to this. I did do this to one of my friend groups. It was like, throughout elementary school, I had like a pretty, not a large friend group, but, pretty consistent people I'd hang out with. So, I'd have my like current day friend group. Not everyone was there because, high school introduced more people, so did middle school. But in elementary school, it was like, it was like 3 to like 5 people that I would say I consistently hung out with. My friend Cameron, my friend Jeff, Aiden, Joe, and that's all I can really think about. So those 4 people, or 5, I don't remember how many. Could have sworn there were more. Then, obviously you have your other like groups. I like, because I was a kid who played sports, I would play bump during recess, with all the athletic kids, all them. I would play football with them and all that. I would talk to other people as well, just about elementary school. And, as we got older, I sort of drifted apart from them, especially in the middle school area where I got new friends because, I just was never in their classes. Got new friends, they're from the other elementary school in my town. And, hung out with them like all through middle school and, some of my freshman year. But, just sort of like didn't like talk at all with my other friend group, just sort of vanished. And at the like halfway point through freshman year, I started hanging out with them again, and it was as though nothing changed. It was as though I was there the whole time. And, it was really nice. It was really nice. It was really nice to come back to people who I've known for my whole life basically, and be treated as though nothing's changed. So just pointing that out. Nice little story time with Klexius. She reaches forward and strokes my face, gently lifting my chin up so we maintain eye contact. The way I see it, we get along just as well as we did when we, just as well now as when we did as kids. Besides, what happened in the past was the past. If anything, the time apart made me appreciate the time I do spend with you even more. Well, I'm glad you feel that way, Sayori. I really am. It's just, well, you going to therapy made me realize the reality of depression, and it made me reflect on how much I've been absent in your life. I didn't mean to spring this on you out of the blue like that, especially when you wanted to take your mind off of therapy. was pretty inconsiderate of me. It's okay, it really is. I'm just glad that we can talk these things out, you know? You've been really patient with me, so it's the least I can do for you, and I'd much rather we talked about whatever bothers you than you bottling it up. After all, bottles are meant to be shared, right? I get it. The reference to the poem, the Bottles poem. I can't help but laugh. That was clever. If you say so. I do. Seriously, Puka, please don't blame yourself for anything, okay? I've been much happier ever since you came back into my life. I wouldn't have been able to go to therapy if you weren't with me, and like you said, well, I agree. It is a big step to take. There's a faraway look in her eyes as she ponders her next words. I'd gone so many years thinking that this was something I'd have to bear alone, but I have to admit that it's nice not having to go through this by myself. She squeezes my hand. Besides, we can't really change the past, can we? Yeah, I guess you're right. You really do have such a big heart, you know that? You know, she says we can't change the past. Hypothetically, I could just, create a new game and, change the events. Anyway, nothing ever changed with you, and nothing's ever going to change. It's moments like these that really bring about a warm, fuzzy feeling inside of me. I've never felt anything like this before, but it feels so right. Now, I think we have some jigsaws to collect. Of course, let's get back to the game, shall we? She reaches for the controller and starts playing once more. Within seconds, we are whisked away into a world of her childhood memories. The feel of her warmth in my hands, the sound of her innocent laughter, and the smell of her hair. That little voice of guilt remains, but it's now easier to ignore it. Good job. Wow, it's super late already, and tomorrow's a school day as well. How fun. Tell me about it. Monday mornings are the absolute worst. Today's a Monday. Haha. Not even Sakura can save them. I just want another break. We just had our Christmas one. I know. Oh well. Anyway, I should get going. Aw, leaving so soon? My attempt at pulling puppy dog eyes causes her to laugh and shake her head. But it's late. I reach toward her and pull her into an embrace. In a playful attempt to stop her from leaving, I push her back down onto the sofa, wrapping my arms tightly around her body. You've fallen into my grand trap. Now there's no escape. I don't want to voice this. You caught me. Whatever can I do? Nothing. My master plan is absolutely foolproof. Is it Sayori-proof? Her lips meet mine and immediately I'm taken away into another world. Man, it's almost scary how powerful this sensation is whenever we kiss. No fair. Are you complaining? If you prefer, I could just... The tone is innocent and playful. Not kiss you again. Hey, I didn't say that. Okay, you win. But there's only one thing you didn't prepare for. Oh, and what could that be? I quickly boop her on the nose. Boop. Oh, surprise sneaky boops aren't allowed. Oh, but surprise sneaky kisses are. You had me trapped. It was just self-defense. So was my boop. This isn't over, meanie. Looking forward to our rematch then. I reach over and check my phone. It's almost midnight. As much as I hate to admit it, we probably should call it a day. Although, having said that, an idea just popped in my mind. Not a smart idea. Don't do it. Okay, Sayori. Hypothetically. How about... I gotta make a choice. I can't decide which one. You see, usually it's pretty obvious as to which choice you make, because one will lead to good thing, one will lead to bad thing. However, both of these have consequences and have their cons and pros that could be pretty equal to balancing out. Alright, if I walk her home, that means it just ends and, we hopefully have a good night and we just have a good night, we go back home and we're happy with how it ended. However, if I do that, what if she wants to stay? What if she would like to stay the night? What if she wants to? And vice versa. What if she doesn't want to stay the night and I try to say, hey, yo, you want to stay the night? I don't know. This seems like something that you would do in the normal game. So let's at least push the boundaries of a mod. You can stay the night. Why don't you stay the night? Here? That way we can also make breakfast tomorrow morning before school. Ooh, I didn't think of that. Where do we sleep though? Well, I was thinking I could take the sofa and you could have my bed. Nuh-uh, no way I'm letting that happen. You can sleep with me. There's an awkward silence for a second. Made slightly comical by the fact Sayori hasn't realized the implications of her words. Oh, sorry. I didn't mean it like that. You know what I meant. Anyway, I'm just gonna get my stuff from my place, so I'll be back in a second. Alright. What does she do? After completing my bedtime preparations, I rarely slide into bed, thinking about the conversations that took place today. There's been a lot to take in, I suppose. Ever since Sayori became my girlfriend, there's always been a nagging fear that I'm getting into something that's way beyond me. Going to therapy has helped me dispel that worry, though. Today was relatively smooth, and I'm hoping that doesn't change. Faintly, I hear the click of the front door, followed by footsteps. I'm just gonna get changed, then I'll join you. As Sayori approaches the bed, I can't help but notice how nice her legs look in those shorts. I don't know what to say to that. Won't you be cold in those pajamas? Nope. I have you to warm me up, remember? I'm suddenly very grateful that I have a blanket covering my body. What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that? She slides in next to me, pulling the blanket over herself. Slowly, she inches over to me and positions herself so that the top of her head lies just below my chin. Resting her head on my chest, she looks up at me, moves in for a quick kiss, and giggles. At such proximity, I can hear her heartbeat. Her hands feel soft and warm against the fabric of my shirt. She's incredibly warm, but it isn't overbearing in the slightest. On instinct, I wrap my arms around her body and rest my face atop her hair. Good night, Sayori. Plant a kiss on her forehead. Good night, Puka. And that's how it ends. Alright, good. Alright, it's good. Nothing weird happened. Good. We're safe. We're safe. No editing for Puka. No having to put my face going over anything. Not yet, at least. This ain't no hootie pop. I hope. Suddenly, I'm pulled out of my sleep by what appears to be sobbing. As I slowly fight the grogginess, I'm aware of a slight dampness on my chest. I hate it when Sayori has a nightmare. The feeling of powerlessness, the sound of her tears, the look of anguish on her face. It always hits hard. Why can't you hear me? I need you. Come back. Please come back. Sayori? I gently say to her. Shh, Sayori, it's okay. I'm here. It's okay. I hold her as she carries on whimpering. She clings to me even harder, shaking with fear. I can only imagine what's going on in her head. I fumble for my phone. The blinding glare tells me it's 7:01. Puka? It's me, Sayori. We're just having a nightmare. Don't worry. I've got you. I stroke her hair softly as her crying subsides. That was horrible. What happened? She takes deep breaths and composes herself. Everything was so dark. You, Yuri, Monica, and Natsuki, you were all there, but whenever I tried to talk to you, it was like there was an invisible bubble around me. None of you could hear me, but there was this shadowy figure that kept talking to me. Fresh tears fill her eyes once more. And it kept saying horrible, horrible things. It told me that I was useless and that everyone would be so much better off if I wasn't around. This sounds oddly familiar. Did you say Monica's name when you were bringing this up? I'm just saying, Monica, okay. I'm just saying, kind of reminds me of Monica when she messes with, the game configuration stuff and she does her thing as a Monica, okay? Doesn't really matter, though. That you'd be so much happier with Yuri. Nope. That's cap. That's cap, I'll tell you that much. I've seen how that goes. It doesn't end well. It ends up in a bathtub. Full of blood. And I cried. Multiple times. And that therapy is pointless and I'm just fighting a losing battle. It's nothing more than false hope, no matter how hard I try to believe otherwise. She sniffles. I tried calling out to you, to the girls, to anyone, but it was just me and the voice, tormenting me, telling me everything that I've been trying so hard not to believe. It felt so real, Puka, so real, just when I thought things might have the chance of being okay again. I hate this. Why can't I just be normal? And it's already 7. I'm sorry, Puka. I just can't go to school today. It's okay. I won't go either. Huh? But what about... I couldn't care less about that. There's no way in hell that I'm going to leave you alone after what you've just experienced. I can miss the odd day off of school. It's fine. She opens her mouth to protest, but upon seeing the steely resolution on my face, she reluctantly obeys. I'll get you some water. Be back in a second. I don't know why I'm like this, Puka. Why is it that something as stupid as a Little Nightmare... The game? Little Nightmares? I love that game. Little Nightmare makes me feel this bad. I was hoping that finally there was a light at the end of the tunnel. But that was naive of me, wasn't it? It's okay. You don't have to say anything, Puka. I know you might feel like you have to say some magical words to make me feel better, but all you have to do is listen. What really hurt me was that voice telling me that you'd be much better off with Yuri as your girlfriend. I'm trying really hard to believe that I'm a good girlfriend and that I'm worth your time, but those doubts are always there in the back of my mind. I know you'd
never break my trust, but I just wish I could convince my stupid brain to see it some other way. And it's so unfair because I can see how hard you're trying. Please believe me when I say I really appreciate you, Puka. But I'm just so scared that it might be all for nothing.
What do you mean?
Well, what if I never get better? What if I'm always going to be like this? My pieces are broken, so you're trying so hard to put them back together, but what if you can't? What if you can't put them back together because some of them are gone?
I don't have an answer for that.
I hate this feeling. Feeling like I've lost something that I'll never get back, no matter how good your support or how well therapy goes. I can't remember the last time I wasn't so tired, Puka. That's the worst part about depression. The exhaustion that never goes away. The exhaustion that sleep can never fix. The only good thing about sleep is that it's an escape from my mind, at least for a few hours. Well, when I don't have nightmares. And I'm just so tired of it all.
Tears slowly start leaking down her face once more. Her face looks utterly resigned.
I wish I could just wake up one day and actually have hope.
She faces me with a sad smile. Her cheeks glisten with tears.
Actual, genuine hope. A hope that maybe, just maybe, things might be okay. Just when I begin to think that could be true, days like these happen. I hate these days. I hate these days so much. So very much. The therapy is already hard enough, and these nightmares make me feel like what little progress I've made has been reset. All the doubts that I try so hard to keep in check break free, and they're merciless.
I wipe away a few of her tears and gently grasp her hands in mine. We will get through this together, Sayori. Just like I said, I don't care how long it takes or what we have to endure. That's a promise. But I'm never going to stop until we see this through. She looks away. Why is it that I never feel like I'm actually getting through to her? I have to try and stay positive for both of our sakes. Even though seeing her like this is one of the most demoralizing things on the planet. No matter what, you'll never be alone in dealing with this. And if your pieces are broken, we'll create new ones. I can imagine how hard it is for you.
Really, Puka? How can you possibly know what it's like to feel how I'm feeling? Exactly, you don't. You don't know what this feels like. The constant numbness, the constant feeling that no matter what I do, this shadow will always be there. Crying myself to sleep, waking up in tears, having to fake everything because you're terrified that people will see the real you.
But I've seen the real you, and
you're still here and you're still trying to help. I get it. I really do. I know you're trying to help, but it's hard to see your encouragement as anything more than just empty words. This isn't something you can fix just by saying the right stuff.
She burst into tears once more.
As much as I wish it was.
I scoop her into her hug. She tries to push me away initially, but I hold firm, holding her close to my chest. She eventually gives in and sobs unrestrainedly into my chest.
I'm scared, Puka.
I whisper softly in her ear as I gently stroke the back of her head. I know, Sayori. I'm scared as well. We both fall silent, with the only sounds permeating the room being the sound of her anguished cries. Sayori? She mumbles into my chest. I'm sorry if I say the wrong things. I don't know what the right things to say and do are. But this whole thing is just totally alien to me, and after you told me that my words are pretty much empty, well, I'm starting to doubt everything. She winces slightly as she bites her lip.
Sorry, I shouldn't have said that. It came out much harsher than I intended. I want to believe what you say, I really do. I know that I shouldn't feel jealous and that I shouldn't compare myself to the other girls. I want to believe all of the lovely, reassuring things you say to me, but I can't. I know what you're saying makes me sense. It's just... internalizing it is a whole nother story. It's not your problem, it's all on me, being unable to get over this stupid thing. Depression isn't just a stupid thing, though. I know it's much more than that, Puka. I just can't help how angry it makes me. I just want to be normal like everyone else.
I wish I could just go into the game files and be like, hey yo, where's that part of Sayer where it says, hey yo, depression, delete. You know how much that would change this game? You know how easy this game would be to play through? That would be pretty interesting. The depression, it's not like I'm not in control of my own body. The depression is the one that chooses my mood for the day. It chooses how I react to things and what I say. Like the day you made me breakfast. I really wish I was appreciative from the start instead of being irritated that you were in my room so early. It's so unfair, and I keep going on and on about it, and
Don't ever apologize for venting about your depression, Sayori. I know that my words probably don't sound reassuring and helpful as I want them to be, but one thing that'll never change is my willingness to listen. You've been battling this alone for so long, so it's only fair that I can be your shoulder to cry on. Problem shared is a problem halved, right? Well, it's obviously not that simple in this case, but it's something. She sniffles and nods slowly. It does help to at least be able to talk about it. That's something then. Having you around, as much as I don't think I deserve your support, it does make a difference. That makes me happy then. Really? Yeah, it might not be a huge help, but it's still some help, surely? She pauses to reflect. Yeah, I guess so. She nods and shifts her head so that her head lies on my lap. Once she settles, I start absent-mindedly stroking her hair. My mom told me that there would be days like these. Oh, well, back in November after our fight, I was a bit lost. I didn't know who to turn to, so I asked my mom for advice. What did she say? She said if you date someone with depression, you'll have good days like the ones we have had before and bad days like today, I guess. Harry falls silent once more. He looks a little reflective and thankfully doesn't seem to mind that I told my mom about her condition. Does she have depression herself? Nope. She dated someone who had it in the past. It's kind of spooky how accurate her advice was. What was it? She told me about how important it is to be patient and understanding for a start. Which you have been. I don't know. I still have no idea what I'm doing, and I don't really know if I'm saying or doing the right things. I thought I was, but after you told me that my words are just empty, I'm starting to doubt everything. A lot of regret flashes across her face. Sorry, I didn't mean that. For what it's worth, you've been a great boyfriend, Puka. It's not just fair on you. It's just not fair on you. Your heart has always been in the right place, and you put up with my moods. Well, that's reassuring to hear at least. And all I can do in return is snap at you for the smallest things. I knew it wasn't going to be easy. Mom did warn me, and being honest with you, it's times like these that make me realize just how serious depression is, but I'm glad I got the wake-up call sooner rather than later. Neither of us really know what we're doing, but at least we have each other, right? It's also our first relationship, so we've really been fighting an uphill battle from the start. I've definitely enjoyed my time with you so far, and you think I'm a good boyfriend, so we could be doing a lot worse. I don't know, could we? I feel like our relationship has just been you putting up with me. Do we have a future together? Her words cut deep. Knowing that she has these doubts, especially at this early on. What do you think? Honest question. I don't know. You want us to have a future together? Yes. So do I. But what about when we start our last year in school? Or when we leave school? What if you go to university and I don't? What if... Sayori, listen to me. Let's just take our relationship one day at a time, okay? You could probably drive yourself crazy by trying to predict the future. Do I know if we'll be together in a year? Truthfully, I don't. I have no clue what life will be like after school, but there's no point worrying about it now because it doesn't get you anywhere. Yeah, you're right. He gives a short, humorless laugh. I'm glad that one of us can think rationally. Nah, remember how I thought we'd let a spirit loose in the classroom back in October? That was the polar opposite of rational. I really enjoyed that day. It was nice to dress up in silly costumes and scare each other, a real throwback to our childhood. Definitely a highlight of the year, along with Christmas. There's something really satisfying about seeing someone light up when they unwrap a present you've got them. I have the photo you gave me in my room, by the way. It always makes me smile whenever I see it. Even when you're not physically around, you still make me happy. Please don't forget that. Thank you, Puka. I'll do my best.
And look at that! We have won! Let's go, baby! But anyway, I'm gonna finish that there. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, why don't you go ahead and smash that like button and also hit that subscribe button if you're new to the channel. And hit that little bell so you know the next time I upload a video. Yeah, I'm out. Peace.